Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been so long. I took a little bit of an unintended break. I have a project that I'm still working on, still trying to figure out. Some things weren't going to plan, things got really busy. That video will be coming soon. I'm trying to kind of troubleshoot it and figure out what I want to do with that. But I did want to come back to YouTube because fall is right around the corner. Even though I don't intend on decorating anytime soon, this is the time of year where Target will release new fall collections with Studio McGee as well as Joanna Gaines with their individual home lines. So I wanted to go on to their website, look over some of their pieces and show you guys some of my favorite items from the collections, how I think you could style it in your own home, and things that are similar to it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have my laptop ready to go with all of my favorites that I want to share with you guys today. So let's go ahead and get started. So 2 disclaimers before we start. I did get a new camera, so the coloring might be a little bit iffy. I can see that that wall is yellow when it's not yellow in real life. There must just be a weird reflection going on. So if you see the camera quality is a little bit different, I'm getting used to it, figuring out the settings and everything. Number 2, when going through Target's website for home decor, it kind of is a little bit confusing. Basically, if you hit threshold items, it'll show you all of the threshold items. It'll mainly show you the new ones, but it'll also show you the old ones. Basically, what I'm trying to say is not all of these may be new. However, I do think they're good transitional pieces from summer to fall, or for fall in general. So forgive me if some of the things on this list aren't actually new items, but I did try to stay conscious of things that are new and things that you could use for the fall time. Now first we're going to start with Threshold. This line is in collaboration with Studio McGee, who owns McGee & Co. And this is just her Target brand. It's a bit more affordable than McGee & Co. I will say this year for 2025, her collection isn't something that really spoke to me. However, there are a few things that I want to talk about that she came out with this year. So first up is this 4-pack of patterned taper candles. Now they come in 2 different colors. I love this one because it's just that light cream, and then it has that patterned sort of burnt orange leaf design on it. I also really love this one that's a little bit more moody. It has sort of like a mossy brown base to it and then green details on it in the sort of leaf pattern. I think these are beautiful. You get a 4-pack for $15, so I feel like that's actually a pretty good price. I love these because they're different from your classic sort of cream colored white taper candles. These sort of bring in that season, that bring in that moodiness for the fall time. I love taper candles also because they add a lot of height and interest to any sort of area that you're styling. I think the pictures online really showcase that, and it just showcases that pop of color, and again just really adds that height and that visual interest that makes your space come together. And I also kind of like how these seem a little bit more handmade. They seem a little bit more authentic, almost like an artisan type feel to them. So if you're looking for some really fun taper candles and you want to mix it up for the fall time, I think this could be a really fun option. So lately I found myself being very drawn towards sort of like a mustardy, mossy color, and I feel like this pillow is exactly that. All of the tones that I love, especially for fall. So this is called the Burgundy Olive and Cream Vertical Stripe pillow. It is a 20 by 20 pillow and it is $28. Now I've been seeing a lot of stripes lately in home decor. I feel like it's a very classic, very timeless sort of pattern, and I don't think this is any exception. What I love about this is that it is mostly neutral, but it does have those sort of mustardy embroidery details woven into it. I also love the velvet texture. There's sort of like a fringe all the way around it, and then the back side is also like that sort of burnt orange velvet, which I think is absolutely beautiful. I obviously haven't seen this in person. I doubt my stores have all of these items out yet, but I just feel like the craftsmanship looks so beautiful. There are a lot of fun details in it, and I also just love the bigger stripe pattern. This would be perfect to mix with other pillows, whether it be another pattern or something a little bit more solid, maybe like a gingham or a plaid that has one of these colors in it. They would be beautiful paired next to each other. And obviously you can use a pillow in your bedroom, on a chair or a sofa. So many different places that you could style this, and I feel like it's also a really good size pillow to pair with other ones. Now I think it's pretty obvious that we can't talk about fall without throwing in some sort of pumpkin decor. So this one, we are still in the Threshold line. It's called the Cast Metal Pumpkin Cannister. I think this is beautiful because it has that very aged brass look to it. I love the patina on it. It looks like it is an old antique. I feel like you also don't see many like brass or bronze type pumpkins like this, and I think they are perfect for shelf styling. You could put it on top of a stack of books. You can use it to finish off a trio of items. You could use it as part of a centerpiece or like a tablescape, or just pop it on an end table next to a lamp or a plant. It's just that perfect sort of accent piece that adds a little bit of contrast and warmth as well as character to your space. Another thing you may notice is that it does open. It is a canister. It is on the smaller side, so you could keep like smaller things in it, like maybe hair ties or bobby pins or something. But overall, I just really love this look. It looks really heavy and just really well made, and it's only $15. So I feel like it's one of those really unique, fun pieces that can add some warmth and a little bit of vintage character to your fall styling. Now, like I mentioned, Threshold didn't really have a lot of pieces that really caught my attention this year with their fall collection. So the rest of the items on this list are all going to be Hearth and Hand, and they did so well just bringing in some of those basics that are not entirely fall specific, but they are perfect for the fall season. So the first one is this carved edge dinner plate. Now this comes in two different colors. There is a mossy green color as well as a cream. I love the cream color because I love the sort of beige edge around it. I feel like it just gives it a little bit of interest. And not to mention, the edges on these plates are absolutely beautiful. They're so simple. They have that sort of cottage core feel to them, very traditional, very timeless. It's one of those things that you could display in a cabinet or on a shelf somewhere in your kitchen. Like, it's one of those things that you could use as a decorative element, but it is also functional if you do want to use it as an actual plate or as your actual dinnerware. I just love the way that it looks too. I feel like it's neutral enough. It sort of works really well with any tones that you put with it, whether it be brown, green, orange, burgundy. And this one plate is part of kind of like a collection of different, I guess you could say, vessels, plates, bowls, and it even has like little teacups. I just think it's adorable. This whole stack you could just put in a china cabinet or any sort of display area, and it just look absolutely beautiful. So if you want something that looks like it's old, it looks like it's vintage, but has that really timeless, classic feel that's going to stand the test of time. Also, if you like to host any sort of fall festivity, or you just like to have an updated plate set or dinnerware set to use on an everyday basis, I feel like this would be a perfect fit. Another thing that I can't resist talking about for the fall time are scents and fall candles. This is the seasonal ribbed glass jar candle. This one is 7 ounces, which is $6.99. There are some different sizes. As you can see, there's a bigger one that has 4 wicks to it, and it also comes in a few different scents, and then with those different scents, the glass is a different color. Now, I believe Hearth and Hand came out with at least 2 new candles for their fall collection. The other one is more of a ceramic base, and then it has a couple wood wicks in it. But this one, if you have been around, I am a big fan of XO McKenna. This really reminds me of her Autumn candles. It really has that sort of vintage, beautiful vessel to it that I just think is so hard to find, especially for a good price like this. I just feel like the glass has that perfect texture to it. Again, it's ribbed. It also has the sort of scallop details all around the top. I also love glass for candles because when you actually burn it, something about the flame just really reflects off of the glass, and it's just so cozy and beautiful. And like I said, this candle comes in quite a few different scents. There is black oak and persimmon. That one's more of a dark burgundy. Harvest chestnut. This one is a really deep brown. We have a leather and tonka. This one is a dark sort of emerald mossy green. And then salted honey, which is more of like a caramel color, which I think is also beautiful. So you really can't go wrong with any of these colors. Kind of just depends also on the sort of scents that you really like. But candles are perfect to put anywhere in your home. You can pop it next to a little lamp on an end table. You can pop it on a coffee table and a little tray. You can use it in shelf styling to put on top of books. And personally for me, it feels more like fall when your house smells like fall. So this is a great thing to check out if that's something that interests you. This next item is one of my favorites. I love all of these, obviously, but this one I just feel like is very creative and not something that you see all the time. I guess I have seen this like in antique stores and things, but I love how lines like this are starting to bring those things back and make them very attainable for anyone who wants that look. So this is a ceramic taper candle holder, and it's in the color sour cream. I believe it's actually the only color that it comes in, and this item is only $6.99. Now, I personally really love this because it has that little curve to it, almost like a thumb hole or like a sort of place that you can pick it up with your fingers. It feels very old world and it just feels so fun and unique. If you have that cottage core feel and you want to have a different way to display taper candles in your home, I feel like this could be a really beautiful option. I'm actually considering picking up a couple of these myself because they're also so affordable, and I just think it would be so fun to display candles in this for even all year round, but I feel like for fall it just fits perfectly with that cozy, very moody old world vibe. So such a fun, unique piece for the fall time. I think Joanna Gaines knew exactly what she was doing when she put this in the line. So I've talked about this before in previous videos. I think that scale is something that I've really been paying attention to recently. It's really important that you have pieces that fill up your space, that match the space. Sometimes littler pieces of decor all grouped together can look a little bit messy and not as curated and give that sort of high-end feel that bigger pieces do. And this is one of those pieces that really stuck out to me in that way. This is called the Scalloped Edge Stoneware Serving Bowl in the color Cream. Now this is incredibly similar to the dinnerware set that we were just looking at. It doesn't have that same sort of raw edge to it. It's a little bit different, but I feel like they could sort of pair really well together. I love this because it looks sculptural. If you think of like Roman sculptures or just anything that's like old world, antique, this just feels very statuesque to me. It just is very beautiful. It can stand on its own. You could put it on a couple coffee table books or something like that. They even have it styled as sort of like a fruit bowl, or you could put a bunch of veggies in it. And this is perfect if you really like a neutral cottage looking feel, something that has a little bit of detail to it, but it's not something that's going to overpower other pops of color that you add into it or around it in the same space. So this one is the pedestal size, or the pedestal style. This one is $19.99, and there is a shallow one that's more of like a serving bowl, and that one's also $19.99. So this is perfect for big salads or side dishes that you want to serve during the fall time for different gatherings and things like that. If you love to host, so many different ways that you could use this decoratively and also functionally. So again, if you love to host for the fall time and you want some new dinnerware, something to refresh your space a little bit, I feel like this is actually a really good affordable option. I will say Hearth and Hand's dinnerware this year I feel like is so perfect. Again, just like those basics that you can use all year round. They're very timeless. They have that sort of antique old world inspiration to them. So I will go over this one pretty quickly because it kind of goes with the dinnerware set that we were talking about earlier. This is the Carved Edge pitcher in the color Cream. This is beautiful. Like I said, this goes with all of the other dishware that they released this year. They even have a little gravy boat in there. There's the plate and then some little bowls, and I think there's even more like the teacups and things that we saw. If you love to collect pictures, or you have a display cabinet of some sort, china cabinet, or just like some open shelves that you like to style for the different seasons, this is perfect. It'd be beautiful for fall, but you could really use it all year round because it's so neutral in color. I love how you can just notice it from anywhere that you set it. It's just a really subtle detail. The rest of it is just sort of a worn looking ceramic, and I just think it looks absolutely beautiful. So if you need a new pitcher, I think this would look beautiful with any sort of dinnerware set. So I already talked to you guys about my favorite taper candles that Threshold came out with this year, but Hearth and Hand also came out with some that I have never really seen anything similar to before. This is a 6-pack of spindle taper candles. These are so beautiful. They're so unique. They really give that Roman column type feel. Also, the color is really unique. Usually I'm not a big fan of gray, but this has a little bit of like a green warm undertone to it. It's not cool tone by any means, and it just has all these beautiful spindle details to it. I just think it's so fun. So these come in 2 different heights. There's 10 inches, those are $12.99. You get a pack of 6. And then for the 14-inch ones, that is $14.99. If you do the math, it's like between $2 and $3 per candle, and I think that's really good, especially for something that has a lot more detail than your average taper candle. And just like any taper candle, it's very self-explanatory how you can style these. Any sort of candle holder, you can use it in a tablescape, on top of a mantle, you can use it on a credenza or sideboard to finish off a vignette, add a little bit of height to a space. But if you're really into that classic style, but you want something with a little bit more of a twist, something that's a little bit more unique, I feel like this could be a really fun option. Another thing that I really really wanted to include in this video is artwork. Now, both lines at Target come out with quite a few different art pieces that you can use on your walls. You can set it up on a shelf or put it in a cabinet. There's so many different things that you can do with artwork. If I'm being honest, a lot of the like fall landscapes and things, they didn't really appeal to me. I feel like there are some good options if you're looking for something pretty basic, but I didn't really find anything that was really unique, if that makes sense. This is probably the most unique piece that I found, and I don't really think it's even fall specific, but obviously you could use it for that. So this is the 12-inch by 16-inch horizontal oval landscape sketch framed wall art. So first of all, what caught my eye was the shape. It has that beautiful antique vintage inspired shape to it. I love all of the detail, the patina all the way around the frame. And then the image in the middle is actually very simple. I think it's just like a line or like a pencil sketch, and it just has like a couple trees, looks like a little bit of like countryside or hills or something in the background. And because this piece is also an oval, it's different from any sort of frame that just has 90-degree angles to it. I always say it makes such a big difference when you use pieces that have curves in them in rooms, because obviously most rooms have 90-degree angles. Whenever you can use something like this that has soft edges, it just automatically softens a space. Even in a gallery wall, you can mix it in with other square or rectangle pieces, and it just adds that interest. It just makes it a little bit more interesting to the eye, and it's a lot more satisfying to sort of have that shape contrast. It's not something that people can really notice or pinpoint, but it just makes such a big difference and makes your home feel that much more curated and designer. And if this is something that you're looking for, not even just for the fall time, but all year round, and this could be a really good option. Okay, a couple more items left. This one is also one of my favorites. It's very just organic and very earthy, very true, I think, to the fall season, especially in Michigan. I feel like you will see these types of things all over the place when it's the fall time. These are the 18-inch preserved bunny tails, and it is a fall bundle. The color of these is beautiful. Obviously they are preserved actual flowers, so they look very, very realistic. They have so much texture to them, and I think what I love about them is they kind of look like little mini pine cones. I just think they have that beautiful texture to them that pine cones do. I feel like a lot of people think of pine cones as being a decoration for the holidays, which I actually agree with. However, we do get a lot of pine cones around here during the fall time, so I personally use a lot of pine cones, acorns, and things when I am styling my home for the fall time. You could use these pretty much any other way that you would style floral. In a vase, you could use it on a sideboard, a kitchen island, open shelves, coffee table, so many different ways you can use it. But you could also use this type of thing if you are someone who likes to make fall wreaths or anything like that every single year and sort of curate what you like. You could also pop these into like a little garland if that's something you like to do for the fall time, just to add a little bit of texture. So this is a really fun piece if you want something that's natural, something that you could also use year after year, and it gives that really organic, real life texture. I feel like you're definitely going to love these. And lastly, but most certainly not least, I have one more dinnerware piece that I really, really love. I feel like she knocked it out of the park with this one. These are 14-ounce short water glasses, and these are absolutely beautiful because they mimic the sort of candle that we were looking at earlier. I personally really love the green and probably the brown the best. I just feel like they have that very earthy, very moody feel to them, which I personally gravitate towards. But if you wanted something more simple and something that just feels a little bit more timeless to you, there's also a clear set. So you sort of get that very subtle ribbed texture, but it's more see-through, more neutral. But personally, I think all of these glasses would fit with everything because I use brown and green and pretty much any tablescape in any sort of styling that I do in my home. So it really just depends what you're looking for. This is part of like a set of different glasses that they came out with. They have a wine glass and almost kind of like a little, I guess like a martini cocktail glass. It's a little bit shorter, but it still has that beautiful ribbed texture all around it. So if you're looking for some pretty glassware that's at an affordable price, and these are also glass, so they'll hold up for a long time, I feel like this could be a really beautiful show-stopping piece in any of the different colors on open shelves or in like a china cabinet or anything like that. They're just so beautiful. They feel antique, they feel old world. They don't feel like something that you could buy at Target. So if you're looking for new glassware, especially for the fall time or just hosting in general all year round, I think this could be a really good thing to check out. When they start actually coming out with these pieces in my stores, I definitely want to see what these look like in person because I think they're going to be so beautiful. Alright you guys, that is going to wrap up today's video. I showed you guys some of my favorite pieces from the new 2025 fall collections at Target with Studio McGee as well as Joanna Gaines. So many beautiful pieces. Like I said, I personally really loved the Hearth and Hand line. Everything that I talked about in this video will also be linked down below in case you want to shop. I believe these items sell out pretty much every single year very early on, and they've only been out for probably a few weeks at this point. So everything will be linked below in case you want to check it out. It's definitely got me thinking about fall content and just sort of getting in that mindset. I'm still very much enjoying summer. The warm weather cannot stick around long enough, but thinking about fall decor is really fun and exciting, and it's making me think about all of the content that I want to make this year. So if you have any ideas for me, any requests of videos that you'd like to see this year, definitely make sure that you comment down below. The next video, we're either going to be finally finishing that project that I've been working on for like 3 months at this point, or we're going to be going through our fall bins and just sort of making a list of things that we want to look out for this year. But anyway, thank you guys for spending some time with me on my channel today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and a wonderful summer, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.